You're listening to Wiscoholics with Jimmy Christensen.
Hey man, I look at the internet.
Todd Varney.
For as not confident as I am, I'm not unconfident either.
And your host, Erin Alice.
Imagine meeting the love of your life and then finding out that he debates Brady versus Rogers with strangers on Twitter.
These are the Wiscoholics. Drink up.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Wiscoholics, the show that nobody asked for, where we talk Wisconsin sports and then some. I am your host, Erin Alice, and with me are, two guys you're used to. We got Jimmy Christensen. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm good. I can't complain. Todd sucks. You're great, and we have an awesome guest. So it's a usual good day.
I know. Todd, what about you? How are you doing, Todd?
I am fantastic, other than the fact that I haven't seen the sun in a couple of days. Fake spring is gone. It is officially second winter, and I hate it. Other than that, I'm doing great.
Oh, it was beautiful here. It was 70, sunny, gorgeous.
Screw you, Aaron.
And it is an exciting day today because we have our first guest ever who he's a really big fan of the show. So he's been like our number one fan. So we just felt like it felt right for him to be our first guest. So Robin, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Robin. I am writer, site president over at Wisconsin Sports Heroics. And I also write and help with writer development over at Border Fuel Sports. So all things Wisconsin, all things sports, all the time.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like I'm in a group chat with you that you kind of arranged with people that have work, and I feel like you're always posting like so much. I don't even know how you have time to have like a full-time job, a family, and everything else. Like, do you sleep at all?
No, because I have full-time jobs, and one of them's at night, and we're at a security desk. So that's where I get all my writing, and because there's nothing to do.
Oh, two birds, one stone, man.
One day while you're writing a story, they're gonna just rob you. Not you, just sneak behind you and steal stuff.
Yeah, well, good luck. They make boat motors. They're really heavy, so.
It'll be Todd. Todd will carry two, one on each shoulder, just walk out of there.
Yeah, Todd could lift that.
I have been lifting lately, guys. I've been hitting the gym real hard, so look out.
Yeah.
I could tell.
I wish you would lift that mustache off your face.
I was about to make a mustache joke too. I was going to say your upper lip must be real strong.
High five, Jimmy. High five. Anyways, let's hop into it. We'll start with, where do we start? Where we always start. And I think the first thing we should hit is Packers news. That there's kind of been a lot of stuff happening. Number one, the Packers re-signed Kevin King. Number two, today they announced that they signed Mercedes Lewis to a 2-year deal. And there's been a lot of murmurs about them trying to restructure Aaron Rodgers' contract. So what are your thoughts? You guys feeling good about what the Packers are doing?
I don't really mind the Kevin. I was surprised Kevin King got re-signed just for the reason of it's never really been the Packers' MO to bring back a corner in their sector, like coming off their rookie contract. They've letting Casey Hayward go, Devon House, they eventually brought him back. I was a little surprised. They said $6 million. That's the agent's what he said. That's with incentives and stuff. So as long as they still address that early in the draft and let them compete for that cornerback number 2 position, I'm fine with that. Obviously, he had a super shitty game in that NFC Championship, but he's also had some decent games. That one against Atlanta where they held Julio and Ridley to like 30 yards combined was one that stood out. So he has talent. It's just making sure it's consistent and he's healthy. But for the deal he probably was brought in on, I can't complain too much.
Mm-hmm. Also, the Packers brought back Mercedes Lewis. So we got another re-signing of the 2020 team. Robin, what do you think? How do you feel about Big Dog coming back?
I think that's probably one of their better signings of the offseason, especially with the lack of depth on the offensive line, with Lindsley going off in free agency and Bakhtiari being out till December, Rick Wagner being a cap casualty. Mercedes Lewis is a bonus lineman, so he can block in the passing game, he can block in the running game, and he's a really good goal line target And you know that with it's a incentive-based contract, so you know Rodgers is going to be looking his way a lot in the gold zone. So 2 thumbs up to that signing.
For sure. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, there have been, just like, as I said, rumors about him restructuring. And on Friday, they actually did not restructure his signing bonus or his guaranteed money. I believe if they would have restructured that, it would have saved the Packers about $4.5 million in cap this year. And they elected not to do that. So Todd, your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, his contract, and the restructuring?
Once again, hat off to Russ Ball and Goody for being able to get under the cap in time without restructuring Rodgers. It felt almost like they kind of were going to have their backs against the wall to get that done with him. Now they're going to be able to get something worked out that benefits both sides equally or more equally, I guess. It felt like Rodgers was probably going to have the upper hand in negotiations, but since they were able to get under the cap in time, and now they can kind of work out those kinks a little bit better, I'm sure something will get done if they want to be able to bring in, any more pieces to help Rodgers out. He understands that something's going to have to be worked out on his end.
Do you think that they're working more towards like an extension with Rodgers, just because some of the stuff that I've been seeing is that they don't really necessarily need him to be on board for a restructure. Like, he still can get his money. They're just moving around on their end exactly what they're doing. So do you think that it's taking this long that they're actually planning on maybe adding a couple years with him? Because the reports came out he wants, and whenever I see reports about what Rodgers wants in the Packers, I always take with a grain of salt, because Rodgers is probably one of the most secretive people in the NFL. He just likes to keep his stuff close to his chest. Do you think they're working on like an extension with him, or do you think it would just be like a restructure? They don't change the years or anything?
I think a report came out and said they were doing an extension, or they were trying to, but I don't know who leaked that.
Yeah, I would guess they're working on an extension, spread some of that money out a little bit further, and give him some reassurance that he'll be around more than just this year. I think he doesn't like the idea of being a lame duck quarterback.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very messy, the situation the front office kind of put themselves in. But I mean, I think they knew that they were doing this when they made their when they drafted Jordan Love last year. They knew this was going to get messy, and we're hitting that right now. So, yeah. All right, let's move on to the Bucs. They are killing it. They are on a 7-game win streak, and they're actually beating Boston right now. They're up, at least last I checked, by double digits. So, Todd, I know you're like the biggest Bucs fan, so we'll go elsewhere. Robin, I know you're a big Bucs guy too. How do you feel about the Bucs? Because they started a little bit slower than everyone wanted or expected, but they've really found their stride lately.
Yeah, they also made a couple big moves that you guys talked about last week with bringing PJ Tucker in, and it just looks like the team is flowing so much better. They changed up their offensive game a little bit to not center around Giannis as much, so that they can't opposing teams can't focus just on him driving in the lane as much, and that caused them to start slow because they were working on a new offensive system. But right after the All-Star break, they kind of everything was clicking on all cylinders, and they haven't lost yet since the All-Star break. So everything's great in Bucs land.
Yeah, right. Knock on wood.
Yeah, it's great to see that, because I was nervous. I was telling them last week, like, this has been the most, like, I don't want to say, I guess the word is doubtful I was of the Bucs going into the playoffs, like, or to this stretch of just thinking like if they really can compete for a championship. But seeing as you guys teased me about picking Giannis again for our offensive player, spoiler alert, it's not Giannis because of peer pressure from Todd. Seeing other
if there's one thing I'm good at, it's peer pressure.
Being an asshole.
They kind of go hand in hand, I think.
Oh, for sure. No, it's nice to see the Bucs perform up to their capabilities, because the Bucs at the beginning of the season, like Robin said, they were trying some new things, and I think they had to, because we saw they did really well in the last couple regular seasons, and then the playoffs they just lay an egg. So it's nice to see them trying new things. And I think that really saved Coach Bud's kind of job, because in the beginning of the season, they were saying fire him, but he was also kind of doing what the fans wanted, to try new things to make sure that when they get to the playoffs, they don't just shut down Giannis and everyone else just doesn't know what to do. So hopefully this can kind of translate to something, because right now they're in a window. I know we have Giannis for the next 4 or 5 years, but we really need to make sure we capitalize on this, because who knows how long this team can be where they are.
Really
right. And I actually, sorry.
No, I really hope that they're able to get Drew Holiday to sign an extension, because he's got an option for next year, but sure it'd be nice to have him and Giannis together for a while.
Oh yeah, we'll just have to
they
hold
really
them
complement each other.
Yeah,
yeah,
really
that too. Yeah,
one or the
other. And I also read today that the Knicks are thinking about buying out Austin Rivers' contract, and that the Bucks are interested. So that would be another acquisition they could grab before, hitting the playoffs and making that playoff push. So they seem to actually, when they said we are trying to help kind of build a team for Giannis, and the pressure that the front office has had to build a team, they are actually keeping to their word as being more aggressive. And you do love to see that for Giannis, for, making the decision where he could have gone to a larger market and he decided to stay loyal, and they are rewarding him. So not just with money, but, hopefully bringing a championship, or trying to.
Yeah. They'll need to bring in a backup point guard, because they traded DJ Augustine. They signed him this offseason. They traded him to get PJ Tucker in. So they got to do something to get that backup guard. Just last season, a couple seasons ago, is when he really stood out in the playoffs, but George kind of fill that George Hill void. I think it'd be best to have a veteran back there just to kind of shore up that second unit.
Part of the trade too freed up a few $1 million in cap space. Before that, they were only $400,000 under the hard cap. So any free agent that was not going to be on the market, they wouldn't have been able to sign them till mid-April. So those deals freed up $3.5 million, I think. So they can really make a play for any free agent that ends up being on the market.
Yeah,
Question. Does everybody still hate my guy Patty C?
No, I've always loved Patty C.
I like him.
I saw on Twitter he was taking a lot of heat early in the season, and I hated to see it. I went to a Bucks game when I was living in Phoenix, and he locked down Booker, and ever since then I've been in love with the guy. So shout out Pat C. He is so hot right now.
He started for Giannis. Like, Giannis didn't play. He started at the power forward, scored 20 points.
Hell's yeah.
There you go.
Obviously.
Yeah, he's probably better than Giannis, actually.
When he put it,
he's probably in the MVP running, Todd. So there's your guy. You know what? They should just trade Giannis and just make Patty C the. There we go. Boom.
You could do it.
You should
absolutely. He could do it.
Todd, we were talking about new names for Lambeau Field. What about Patty C Field?
I don't know. That doesn't. I still like AmFam Field of Green Bay.
just change the name of Wisconsin. It'll just be called AmFam.
Man, Packers and Notre Dame. Patty C went to Notre Dame.
Oh, there you go.
Oh shit! I just love him because he came out in that white men can't jump outfit for when he was in the dunk contest.
Right.
Yeah,
and he jumped Christian Yelich.
Yeah, it was legendary. All right. Well, I don't want to spend a lot. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this next team because they've just been really disappointing. But the men's Badgers basketball team lost to Baylor. And they did beat UNC, which was exciting, but they have just been really disappointing this season. So I don't even want to spend a whole lot of time on it. I think a lot of everybody's really surprised that they even won the first game. So we're just going to leave it at that, pour one out to their season and move right along.
Better luck next year.
Yeah. So let's head to our next segment called Teach Jimmy Baseball.
Let's go, Todd.
I'm going to lob this over to Todd.
So Robin actually helped me with some of this. We decided to bring Jimmy around.
That sound was Jimmy pouring a drink.
Yeah, so, I got to get ready for this. I gotta mentally prepare.
I didn't even realize what it was because I was looking at my notes and I heard it. And then when you said that, I was like, that was a cork coming out of a whiskey bottle. Yes.
That was.
I had to get ready. I knew this was gonna just piss me off. So
All right.
After last week, Jesus.
So Robin and I put our collective heads together and came up with some unwritten rules of baseball that Jimmy should probably familiarize himself with if he's going to be around the game.
I'm not gonna be, but keep going.
I'm gonna make you be around the game. So Jimmy, typically if you have a teammate that's having a really good game, you talk to him about it. You congratulate them on.
I know this one. I know this one.
In baseball. Yes.
If a
Do you
pitcher,
talk to the pitcher?
no, I know that because of Scrubs. Because one of the doctors in there, he had no patience die, and someone said something to him, and everyone's like, "You don't talk to the pitcher." That's the only reason I know this one, because of Scrubs.
Dr. Cox.
Yeah, Dr. Cox is the only reason.
See, Jimmy, you know more about baseball than you thought.
Yeah, sign me,
27 patients in that episode too. Just like 27 outs in a baseball game.
Bing bang boom. I'm a professional.
Yep.
Also, one that Robin brought up to me that has to do with a no-hitter is that you don't bunt to break up a no-hitter or a perfect game.
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I'd be that asshole that was like, "Oh, you're
Yeah,
doing a
you
perfect game?
totally
Watch
would.
this."
There's always that asshole though. There's always every no-hitter. There's always that asshole that tries to break it up with a bunt.
Really?
Yeah,
you
I
can
don't
kind of get
see-
away with it. Like before the fifth inning, you can kind of get away with it.
But
But
in the
after
8th
that-
or 9th inning, mm-mm.
no.
See, yeah, that sounds like something that people probably do less and less now, or like they do more and more of that, just because there's like no respect. It's like fuck you.
I can't blame them. Like if they're doing a perfect game against your team, it means your team's kind of sucking ass.
Right, because
maybe-
you don't want to be on in the history books as the one
Yeah.
is the loser.
When coming on and off the field, you don't walk on the pitcher's mound and you don't walk in front of the catcher when you're going up to bat. So if you're on the first base side and you're going up to bat and you're a right-handed batter, you walk behind the catcher. You don't walk between him and the pitcher.
Why?
Okay.
Just respect for the guys.
Do people
there's
just sometimes
also,
do that to
you
mess
know,
with them?
Also, if that pitcher's taking a warm-up throw, you're going to get it right in the junk, man. So it's more of a safety rule for you.
Oh, I'd be right. I'd walk in the middle, showing my butt.
A lot of times, but a lot
I
of times
didn't know where
the
that
catcher-
sentence was gonna end.
a lot of times the catcher might be giving signs to the pitcher or to the defense, just letting them know what the situation is or what's going on. So you just, out of courtesy, walk behind them. Robin, where else do you not step on a baseball field?
You don't step on the chalk lines.
What?
The foul
Sorry.
lines in the
Okay.
infield. Don't step on those.
Why did you break your mother's back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or worse.
Or
worse.
worse.
Or worse.
Todd might sleep with your mother. That's the punishment.
All right, we'll wrap it up. That's the end of the show. We're done.
Okay, so you don't step on so everyone just steps, and that's just so the umpire can see him, I'm assuming. No?
It's just an unwritten rule,
It's
Jimmy.
bad luck.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was trying to find a reason for this unwritten rule because I can barely understand the
There is
written
no
rules.
reason.
There is no.
There
There's
is no
no reason
reason.
for
You just
behind
don't
that.
do it.
Dude, this is
It's
the
just
only
kinda
sport
like-
that has like confusing rules, unwritten rules.
Hey,
Well, and like in
buddy,
hockey, if they have like the logo in the locker room, you're not supposed to step on it. Which I don't know how you don't do that. Like my brain, if I'm playing a professional sport, to have to remember to not do that, I like don't step somewhere. I'm not looking where I'm walking. I'm just walking.
Is that like of opposing teams of like your own team?
Your own team.
I was gonna say opposing
Like
teams. I
there was
feel
a
like they're-
big there was a big scandal with the Blackhawks. Todd's gonna yell at me for bringing up a non-Wisconsin team, but
Is this called alcoholics?
Jesus. That's gonna be your tagline. And they won the Stanley Cup a few years ago, and Justin Bieber was at the United Center and was taking a picture of it. He's like standing right on the logo, and everybody like yelled at him because they were like, "Oh, well, yeah." It was pretty. He got just
Wasn't he like
roasted.
12 at the time?
Something like that.
Give
No,
a
I
kid a
think
break.
no, that was only probably like 6 years ago.
Yeah, wasn't he 12 at the time?
Hey,
And
Justin Bieber is a
ironically, they
full-grown adult.
haven't won since. Actually, I think it was in 2013. So they did win another one, but
We did though.
anyways.
We did agree though. There is an unwritten rule in baseball that Todd and I both agree that everybody should break.
What is
And
it?
that's pimping home runs.
Yeah. You hit a home run, you watch that ball, you flip the bat, you take your time circling the bases.
You're not
Right.
supposed to do
Defense
that?
hate it, but it's so fun.
Yeah, bat flipping. I did know that. That is not allowed.
What are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to jog around
Put
like
your head
it's not
down
a big
and
deal.
Jog
Act like you've
around.
done it before.
Yeah.
The only time there are 2 times it's inappropriate to do that. And that's if you're up big or down big.
Okay.
If you're up by a lot, you don't steal, you don't swing on a 3-0 pitch, and you don't pimp a home run. If you're losing big and you pimp a home run, you are going to get ridiculed, most likely by your own teammates.
Well, yeah, that makes sense because then you're down. Like that's. I remember one player, Nick Barnett for the Packers. I remember times the Packers were down and he'd get like a tackle for loss and he'd do his like celebration. It's just like, dude, really doesn't mean
Well,
anything.
you remember when one of the Bears? I don't know who they were losing to. They were down. There was like 2 minutes left in the game, and they were down a lot. And I think it was against the Patriots. And someone got a sack, and they did, and he celebrated. I don't even remember who it was, and he tore his ACL.
Really?
Yeah.
Karma.
You remember that.
Karma.
Like, yeah. And they like, and it's not like when, I mean, not that he should have, but the one guy from the Lions that did that, so, like doing the sack, doing Rodgers' belt after he sacked him. But the score was like tied, like it was early in the game. But this was when they were just getting their asses kicked. It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. They should
Yeah.
let baseball players do like, you know how we have like NFL has touchdown celebrations. You should let teams do like home run celebrations. That'd be way more fun.
It would
I'd
be
be
fun.
into that.
They do that on walk-offs.
So I would do that every time. I can barely hit the ball. So if I have the 1 in a billion chance to hit a home run, you can guarantee I'm streaking the bases. My clothes are off. I'm running. It's going to get weird.
I hope that never happens.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll
I
get a
can't
roast.
wait to
Someone-
take you to the cage, Jimmy.
God, we got to make that happen. I'm telling you right now, I will hit maybe one if I'm lucky. And then
Yeah,
I will do
you-
another one after I do like 3-month cycle of steroids. And then I'll start hitting them.
Steroids
that
don't help
DH
you
rule.
get the on the ball.
Todd, don't knock my process. We're going to do an Icarus 2.0. Jimmy at the batting cages. I'll do it without steroids and I'll do it with steroids and see what happens.
We're gonna go viral
Yeah.
for that video.
You'll be a
series.
moron both times.
Yeah. I'll come the second time I'm bald. My nipples are popping through my shirt.
Anyways, that was Teach Jimmy Baseball. So, Jimmy, do you feel good about those unwritten rules? You
No,
think
they're
you
so
remember all of them.
No. I'll remember, don't step on the main ones I remember is where not to step. Don't step on the line
Yeah.
and don't walk in front of the pitcher and pitcher and
Turn
catcher.
Petcher. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jimmy, you're
pitcher,
great.
the old pitcher and pitcher. Don't step in front of them.
Pour another one there, guy.
Dude, no. I was today I was coaching kids striking class and I was trying to say stuff to them. I've done that like 6 times today. I talk too much during the day. It's
Have
bound to
another
happen.
drink.
Yeah, feel free to shut up.
Fuck you, Todd.
Woo, snort skis.
All right, that was really funny.
Don't validate him.
All right, we're gonna head into our next segment called This Week in Wisconsin History. And this one actually took place today. Well, when it's Wednesday. So when you're listening, it'll be Thursday. But on March 24th, 1874, Harry Houdini was born. You know, the illusionist, magician, disappearing guy.
Escape artist.
Yeah, escape artist. Thank you.
Familiar
on
with
this
Houdini, yes.
Magician Harry Houdini was born in Budapest. And his connection to Wisconsin is actually that he lied to everybody and told people that he was born in Appleton, which is just really bizarre. But at the age of 9, he left Appleton, where his family had emigrated for New York City, and began his career as an escape artist and a magician. His family actually moved to Appleton when he was a toddler, and his father became the first rabbi in Appleton. So yeah, he just had kind of connections there. I don't know why they came from Budapest, Hungary, and ended up in Appleton, because naturally that's where I head.
Yeah.
That's where I'd head if I was heading to the US.
They were in
Well, I
Budapest,
mean,
like, where should we go? Appleton, obviously.
yeah,
yeah,
naturally.
definitely.
Like I feel like they came to the US and they did like one of those things where you're trying to think of a name and they like asked them like, so why are you coming to America? And they were like, oh, and they saw an apple. They're like, Appleton. And they're like, yeah, cool. Okay, we'll send you there. And then he ended up in
jump
really
in that carriage. That's where it's headed.
Yeah.
They're probably trying to go to New York City, the Big Apple, and they just fucked it up and said Appleton.
Right.
Okay, do you think he actually like lied to people about this? If they moved to Appleton when he was a toddler, like, I don't know, like maybe he didn't know. It's not like they just had super good record keeping back then.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Maybe
Erin,
he just was told. And so like maybe like he died thinking I am in a like
So you're out
American.
here
I was
accusing
born in America.
this great human being, this proud American,
yeah, Wisconsin legend.
of being a liar when he may just not have known.
What do you mean calling him a liar? He was an illusionist. He lied for a living.
Robin's
Right.
ahead of this.
Right? See,
Those are
he
real.
Maybe he just appeared in Appleton and he doesn't know how it happened.
All right, you thought what I said was bad. Let's end the show on that one. That was terrible. I'm done.
Isn't he the one that like died in an accident?
I thought you just
No.
kept having people
No.
punch him in the
Who was
stomach.
the
yeah.
one that like died in like during an accident? Like or
Chris
doing like
Angel.
an act. I think he's still alive.
It wasn't him.
Houdini died because people kept
No
punching him in
idea.
the stomach, right?
Well, no.
Yeah.
See, he had this thing where you could punch him in the stomach and like, because he had like rock hard abs or whatever. So this guy comes backstage and he
relatable.
says,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
Todd
don't know.
knows what that's like.
he's like, can I do the punch you in the stomach thing? See if I can hurt you? And Houdini goes, yeah, sure. But before he can like brace himself, dude like knocked him, burst his appendix. And that was before like, appendix surgery. So he ended up dying of internal bleeding of a burst appendix.
Oh shit,
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Todd, that's the first thing I'm gonna
Alrighty.
do you when I see you. Todd, flex your ass, just cold cock you.
Oh god. Well, on that happy note, that was This Week in Wisconsin History. So happy
That's actually
birthday,
why I brought
Houdini.
Useless information. Like that.
I appreciate it.
I
So
prefer
happy
to
birthday
celebrate
to Harry Houdini.
Houdini's birthday on April 6th, not today.
Because
The one
that's
that
what he said.
the one that he knew of, that's the one I prefer.
You have no proof that he didn't know of it.
You have no proof he did.
I hate Todd so much.
I say that every day. I go to bed saying that.
I do too, but then I'm texting him stupid stuff all the time, so I can't really say that. Like, hey Todd, you want to talk?
I miss you. All right, let's head to our offensive and defensive players of the week. We're gonna start as we usually do with offense. Anybody want to go first?
I want to hear more from Todd.
Let's let the guest go first.
Smart.
All right.
Okay.
Robin, who's your offensive player of the week?
My offensive player of the week is Billy McKinney, who is Milwaukee Brewers outfielder. They signed him on, giving him a shot to make the team, and he's hit quite a few home runs this spring. So it's looking like he is going to be the Brewers' fifth outfielder, make the team. And Brewers, a lot of outfielders have been playing really well, and he's kind of outpaced them. So yay on him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it is actually spring, so spring training makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it anymore, Jimmy.
I'm done now. I will never mention it again.
Until
Lips are
next February.
yeah, until next February when you try to tell me that spring.
But yeah, Billy McKinney is on a tear, and it's one of those, like every spring, there's like one or two players throughout the league that just like come out of nowhere and just annihilate the ball, make a team, and then are off that team by like the middle of May, which I
Yeah,
fully
it's probably going to
expect.
be him, but for right now,
I
he's
fully
the
expect
offensive
Billy
player of the
McKinney
week.
to be that guy.
Who was the big buff guy that played first base for a little bit? Eric something.
Jesus Aguilar or Eric Thames?
Eric Thames.
Eric Thames. Is he still alive or around?
Playing in Japan this year.
He's in Japan.
alive.
You don't know.
Jimmy knows. Jimmy
Someone
knows all
punched
about
him in the
playing professional
appendix.
sports in Asia.
Yeah, I
Maybe
played
someone
in China.
punched him. Right.
Jimmy,
I
stop.
went. I did, you asshole. Also, I went to a baseball game in Japan when I went there for a
teaching
weekend
you about baseball if you went to a game in Japan.
because I didn't understand it
may
there
not
either.
have been baseball. It may not have been baseball. He has
I
no
know there
idea
was
what
a
he watched.
stick, there was a ball, and I bet on it. So I'm assuming it's
Oh.
baseball.
Maybe it was cricket.
No, I wish it was cricket. I'd be way more interested.
All right. Well, speaking of Brewers, Todd, you want to give your offensive player of the week?
Yeah, I'll go with Christian Yelich this week. Back-to-back home runs yesterday and today. Dude is hitting 444 so far in the spring, and just I love it. I want more of him all the time, especially after last year. Looked like kind of fell off the face of the earth. So good to see him back swinging and going deep again.
Get out the bubble wrap. Keep him safe.
Yep.
Do you think anyone on the Brewers is juicing?
Jimmy, don't make me answer that.
If you had to pick one player on the Brewers that you're like, they probably are sticking a needle in their butt, who would you pick?
Jimmy, that I don't want to be sued for libel. So
Blink twice if you think it's Christian.
We're gonna end up on Pro Football Talk again. Game of
Whichever-
but oh right.
Whichever one of the sausages wins the most races this year is probably.
Yeah, that's who's juicing.
Bernie's looking buff as hell again.
Is there like a favorite sausage?
Whoa.
Todd's finding it. Todd's finding it.
Phrasing.
There it is.
I was waiting for anybody, but I seriously am wondering, like, of those, I don't even know how to phrase it without it being inappropriate.
Penises.
Hey, phrasing.
In the sausage race, like, is there like a favorite? Like, usually when they do the beer race at Lambeau, I always go for Miller Lite.
Well, yeah,
No, nobody. Okay, got it.
People have
Anybody
their
there?
favorite.
And I'm just okay. What's your favorite?
Italian.
Tell me your favorite sausage.
Todd.
Italian, which is weird. I don't actually eat the. It's just he's number 3. That's my baseball number, so that's where I go.
Okay. Robin.
Hot dog. Always the hot dog. Ever since I was a kid. Although I do have a soft spot for the chorizo.
I do love chorizo. That would be my. I love chorizo.
You
Jimmy?
guys want to hear? Well, I don't know the sausages, but I do know the person
That's
I
weird.
went.
I thought you were a big fan of sausage, Jimmy.
Only yours, Todd.
Oh,
I did. The girl I went to prom with. You know, I was a sophomore.
Wait, where is this going?
She was a junior. Don't worry about it. That was her job. She was one of the sausages running around the field. So that's my claim to fame.
Jimmy.
No, that's her
went to
claim.
prom
Your
with a
claim to fame.
sausage.
You work for Jamal Williams, and your claim to fame.
Is that you took a sausage to prom?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see what's weird about that. That's like
basically
my
the same
pride
thing.
and joy, honestly.
Oh God.
That might
stand
be
by
one
my
of
answer.
the most Wisconsin things I've ever heard. I took a sausage to prom.
And it's the best moment of my life.
For a later time, I can tell you how I tried to hide a hickey after prom. That was a fun
A
time.
hickey on the sausage.
No, I wish. No, a hickey on my neck.
Whoa, that's inappropriate. We got kids listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Every Thursday morning, me and Hadley have breakfast and just listen to this. So you can tone it down a little bit.
Well, considering that we have our one listener here with us today, I think we'll be all right.
That's true. Good point. Good point.
All right. Well, moving on. My offensive player of the week is Daryl Watts of the
Again?
Badgers women. Shut up.
Oh yeah, you gave me a hard time.
She deserves it. She completely deserves it. They won
All right.
because they're the Wisconsin team that's actually kicking some ass. They won the NCAA tournament for the women's hockey, And she scored the game-winning goal in overtime, and it from behind the net. And she did it completely intentionally. She knocked it off of a defender into the net in overtime. It was amazing. So I didn't want to pick the same person again, but she deserved it because it was so badass. So kudos to Daryl.
Was it a knuckle puck?
I don't even know.
No, but it left everyone more confused than the knuckle puck ever did. Like everyone was just standing around like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it was, she saw it go in, she knew it, and so did the goalie, and so did the defender, but everybody else was like, what the hell just happened?
The goalie just looked at the defender like, did you really just let that bounce off of you into the, like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It was pretty badass.
Well, for a new offensive player of the week, because I like to have a variety, I don't like to pick Giannis 5 times. I'm going to go with Drew Holiday, which was my choice, no one else's. He had his last game, 28 points, 14 assists, kind of earning that, 3 first rounders we gave to the Pelicans for him. And I always like when it goes against anytime we beat the Pacers, because Malcolm Brogdon did end up going there. I don't believe, Robin, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe Malcolm Brogdon played yesterday or when they played the Pacers, but it's just still nice to show the Bucks are fine without you, Malcolm. I wish you were I wouldn't complain if you're still on the team, but we're okay without you. And Drew Holiday, I think, is going to be a pivotal part to our playoff run. If he doesn't do well, the team's not going to do well. So it's nice to see him rack up those assists and hopefully help lead our team to a championship so I can go streaking in the streets with Todd.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
You really want to go streaking. That is the second time you've brought it up in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm wearing shorts right now, and I keep looking down.
Thank God.
I could be wearing nothing, and I'd be way more comfortable. I
I
bought a new pair of tie-dye
be
shorts today. So you guys are welcome.
Oh, that's exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Target, they're on sale. $12.
All right. Head into our defensive player of the week. Robin, lead us off.
My defensive player of the week is Mamadi Diakite.
Oh, good pronunciation.
Thank you. Mamadi Diakite was not drafted by the Bucks, but he was signed as an undrafted free agent by the Bucks and went down to the G League and ended up being named to the All-NBA G League first team, All-NBA G League defensive team, and his team won the G League championship. Now he's on the Bucks bench. Much deserved promotion because of his play down in the G League. So he's my defensive player of the week because all G League defensive team.
I love those stories of guys like kind of getting undrafted and, working their way up. It's just like I root so hard for those guys. So that's really awesome for him.
Yeah, and he won the national championship in college. He went to Virginia, technically the defending NCAA champions, since there wasn't one left.
Oh, that's right. God, that was a year ago when everything was canceled. Jeez. Feels like it was 80 years ago. Thank you, Todd.
Welcome to it, Erin.
Thank you. God. Thank God we're not doing this in person. I'd strangle you right now.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Todd will hand you a belt and be like, let's use this.
Hold on. We can do this better.
Well, that is the rest of our defensive players of the week are football. So, gentlemen, who wants to start with that?
Todd Varney.
Okay. I'm going to go Kevin King. Stoked to have him back. One more chance to make people forget that we didn't draft TJ Watt instead. So
God.
Once again, it's just me going on things that people hate and I love. I can't quit Kevin King. He is a drug that I will forever want to take.
Hey, phrasing.
Anyways, now that everyone's uncomfortable,
I'll jump in. I'm going with Adrian Amos. He's restructured his deal not once but twice with the Packers. He added some made up voided years that the NFL is doing nowadays. Just to kind of I know. What a fucking hat out of the ass on that one. I don't even know what that phrase means, but just telling players like, hey, I'll sign you to the team.
I don't think that is a phrase. Hat out of the ass.
The old hat out of the ass.
I got him with the old hat out of the ass on that.
Yeah. It is now.
That sounds incredibly painful. That doesn't sound like sound like an impressive feat. Like if someone did that, I wouldn't be like, wow, that was impressive. You just pulled the hat out of your ass.
Out of the hat, but
I think you combined pulling it out of a hat and pulling it out of your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I sure did.
That's probably, you know what? That's probably how Houdini died.
Yeah, the old hat out of the ass. Anyways, talking about hats out of the ass. Those voided years. No, but I appreciate Adrian Amos doing what he can for the Packers, and he tweeted out he was happy about the Kevin King signing. I think that honestly was more of a one, it helps. I think it does help the team in the short term, and it seemed we had tweets from Amos, Savage, Jair, Kenny Clark. They're all happy Kevin King was coming back, so it seems like a good culture signing, which is huge for the Packers. So I'm going to go with Adrian Amos for what he did for the team, and also kind of give a little boost to what Todd said about Kevin King.
Speaking of Amos, there was a little bit of drama with that tweet that he said. He said something about his entire, and then Raven Green like quote tweeted it because he was not picked up his. They just decided to move on, and he made a comment about it, and I was like, oh god.
But in reality, though, he hasn't played for the last
and been on the field a little bit more.
Right. And I loved Raven Green like when he was on the field, but he didn't make enough of an impact. I get it.
He's all team biceps though. His biceps are huge.
Yeah, he's in my territory with those things, man.
Okay, Todd, come on.
That's
no one's in your territory.
To Raven Green. No wonder he was cut.
Zing. Got him.
So my keeping with the football theme, my defensive player of the week is Kyle Fuller, because this poor guy signed a contract, got a lot of money as a corner, has been playing pretty well, on a really dominant defense. And his offense for multiple years now has just been so disappointing that defense has had to pick up the slack and get very little credit for it. When they do well, it's always on the offense and Trubisky and Matt Nagy. But when they suck, like Nagy was pretty quick to point out that the defense fell apart after they got beat in one game. And it's like, okay, what are we doing here? And so his team decides to go out this offseason and give $10 million to Andy Dalton. And as a result, Kyle Fuller has to get cut so they can make room. I mean, that is the biggest middle finger. Hey, man, we're going to release you because we got to make room for a $10 million contract for Andy fucking Dalton. So no hard feelings, right? So I feel bad for him. I feel bad for that entire defense, sort of. I mean, I'm kind of happy that they're breaking apart because, we don't have to face them, because Kyle Fuller signed with the Broncos, his old coach, Vic Fangio. So that locker room,
6 hours after he got cut, too. That was the fastest signing in history.
Right. I think there must have been some tampering because they did kind of talk about it, a couple of days before that it was going to happen. So I'm assuming conversations happened after that. But they're also looking at trading Akeem Hicks. If that defense is just falling apart, all because they decided to sign Andy Dalton for $10 million. God bless you, Chicago Bears. Never change. So love it.
It's fantastic.
It's so great having them in our division. All right, so let's move on to love hates. This week, we're going to talk because there have been actually 4 signings, free agent signings. Well, I guess Aaron Jones was an extension, but signings by the Packers, deals done in the last week and a half since free agency started. So first one, Aaron Jones. He was signed a couple days before free agency. He got, I guess, an extension, technically, but what do you guys think? Love, hate?
I am going to go out on this one and say hate, love Aaron Jones, hate paying running backs, especially that much money.
I'm going to say love because his cap hit is pretty low. And it took that entire offense, like an entire season, to get comfortable in that offense. So we were about to go into a season with one running back that knows the offense, but didn't really play a whole lot. I am much more comfortable having him in the offense. He didn't get a ton of guaranteed money. His cap hit is really low this year. I'm good with it.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna have to go with hate with the same reason as Todd. Same reason as Todd.
God,
I don't like paying running backs. I much would have rather, even if this wasn't Jamal, I much would have rather have had Jamal and Corey Linsley back than Aaron Jones and whoever we play at center or who we bring in at the offensive line to kind of shape that up. Even if we didn't bring Williams back, because I do think his situation in Detroit's better than his situation in Green Bay. And I think they could have brought a running back in that would pair up with AJ Dillon just as well as Aaron Jones does. Because I do think that dynamic is better than Jamal and AJ Dillon. I think those two are too similar. I'm gonna have to go with hate. I just don't think you should pay running backs. There's too many times you pay one and then it just turns to shit. And you see people like James Robinson for the Jaguars and Philip Lindsay with the Broncos, who were undrafted rookies that had incredible impacts. So like Todd said, I fucking hate that I'm agreeing with the Todd. But I love Aaron Jones as a human. He's an incredible person. I just don't like paying running backs.
What about you, Robin?
I am gonna go with loving it for now.
Woo!
I love it for the first 2 years, and I hate it for the last 2 years when his cap hit increases. But that's also why there's guaranteed money in it. But I'm also going to love it because of the reaction of the rest of the team, much like the reaction of the rest of the team to the Kevin King signing. Everyone was really excited to have him back. And so I think that it's kind of a bigger morale booster for them. Plus, I hear Aaron Rodgers really liked that signing. So, things are what they are with Rodgers and Packers front office. So any little thing they can do to keep him a little bit happy is a good thing.
Definitely. So we're 2-2 on that one.
Yeah, Todd and I are right. But keep going.
Does Todd even count?
Good point. I'm right. Keep going.
Not very high.
Not very high.
All right, Kevin King, 1 year, I think $6 million, but I don't think I've seen any details because I'm guessing that's pretty heavy incentive based. Just I would be shocked if it's guaranteed $6 million. But what do you guys think about that?
I'm gonna cut off anyone who wants to say anything so Todd can agree with me, but I'm gonna go with love. I think, like you said, it's probably heavily incentive based. I think there's still gonna be a competition for cornerback number 2. I think it's a win-win for the team. Either you bring him back, he has a chip on his shoulder, he does well and it looks great, or you're drafting a rookie, he ends up outperforming him, and we fill him in. Either way, it's fulfilling both things that you wanted to see out of the Packers. Just to see what kind of happens. I'm totally cool with it. So I'm gonna go with love. Feel free to agree with me, Todd.
I'm going to go with hate. No, I'm going to go with love. Just like Jimmy said, I mean, I think they were planning on drafting, a corner fairly high in the draft. It's a deep class for that. Either Kevin King's going to have to elevate his play to stay there, or he's going to get beat out by somebody else. So I would hate to see Kevin King leave with the last impression that he gave us in that NFC Championship game. I think he's better than that. I don't know that he deserves a lasting memory much stronger than that, but I don't think he deserves that one.
Robin, what about you?
I love it as well.
Yes.
Kind of unpopular opinion on social media, but I brought it up a few weeks ago on a different podcast that I felt like the Packers were going to bring him back just because what their cap situation is and not wanting to necessarily guarantee a rookie to be the starting corner 2 across from Jair. And even if a rookie does earn that second starting job across from Jair, I think that Kevin King is a bigger upgrade over Chandon Sullivan as your third cornerback than anyone else would be.
All right, I'm gonna disagree with you guys and say hate. While
No one likes you.
Okay. Well, you're no one, so I guess that is accurate.
Oh, boom, Todd.
It was such like a grade school response. I'm rubber, you're glue. Anyways, I'm gonna say that I'm kind of neutral on it in general, but I tend to be a little bit more negative just based on the fact that I want this experiment to be over with Kevin King. I just think that everybody needs a clean slate because I don't think it's going to take a lot for people to get over it. And I don't know if he has enough to be able to overcome it, because the second that he gets replaced, because what I think is going to happen is they're going to draft a corner high in the draft, and he's going to replace him a few weeks into the season and then eventually just take over his starting role. And then everyone's going to see, it was a terrible signing. And I don't want to hear people bitching about it. And I'm also sick, as Todd brought up earlier, about the TJ Watt thing. I'm sick to death of that, and I want that to go away. So I'm just going to say I hate it just because I feel like it's just time to move on.
Kevin King can have 15 interceptions, 12 forced fumbles, and be the defensive player of the year, and people will still complain about it. That's Packers.
Right, and people will still reference this NFC Championship game. Like, whoa, you couldn't have done that in that game. Like, so that's why I just want it to be over. I'm sick of the bitching. I would rather Packers fans have to eat crow and watch him do well elsewhere, as long as it's not against us. You know, I think that would be, I think that would be a better situation for him. But I am happy to see that the locker room is really excited about bringing him back. But overall, I was kind of underwhelmed. I'll be positive and I will cheer like hell for him. But I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, that's a weird aspect of Packers Twitter. Like, you see there's some people who predict that he's going to do poorly, but there's some people that like are Packer fans and want him to do poorly, which is a weird thing I don't understand.
It's like that all the time. Like it's the same way with, I think, Jordan Love. People want to see him fail, and he hasn't done anything. They did the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. They wanted to see him fail because people were just so bitter.
And it's not only Packers fans, it's Bucks fans. Like, the Bucks fans on Twitter were so pissed when the Bucks started to win because that meant they weren't going to fire Bud.
It doesn't make sense.
God.
People suck.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's weird. Sports fans are weird. And yet here we all are together talking sports.
What's up?
All right. So today, Wednesday, the Packers announced that they had re-signed Big Dog to a 2-year contract. $8 million. I think I'm confused on the guaranteed money because Schefter said $4 million and then Rappaport said $2.1 million guaranteed. So I don't know which one is correct. But either way, 2 years, $8 million. Robin, how about you start us off? Love or hate?
I love it. Bonus lineman, gold zone target, Aaron Rodgers' best friend on the team. Like, there's really and low cap hits, so there's really nothing to hate about it.
Right. I love it. You explained it perfectly.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with Robin as well and just say I love it. Like you said, bonus lineman, especially with Bakhtiari probably not being available for the first week of the season. Williams, our best blocking running back, not being there. It's huge to have someone there who can protect Rodgers, in addition to the offensive line. I love it. It's a great deal and a great locker room presence to have.
Yeah, I think that's an underrated aspect always, is just what they bring to the locker room. Todd, why do you hate it?
I hate it because how many tight ends are we going to have? We're drafting another one in the third round.
Probably.
So now you're going to have Tunyon, Sternberger, Dewara, the new third round tight end, and Big Dog. Like, eventually,
and Daphne.
You can't. Yeah. God, I I don't like tight ends, and we have too many of them.
What's wrong with a tight end?
Oh, come on, grow up.
Yeah. Ugh.
I see what you're trying to do there.
I just asked a question.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Anyways,
Move on.
I wish
Also,
people could see Todd's face when he
inappropriate.
says these things, though. Just because I don't know, I just love it. Just
he has this little shit-eating grin.
yeah, the fucking grin, the
Jimmy just said he loves my face.
dick duster he has above his lip. I just wish everyone could see it.
Well, thankfully, people got to see the mustache on Lombardi's bar the other night, so that was so great.
And if
And
you
he
could have
was-
seen the DMs that your wife was sending me afterwards, Jimmy.
Literally,
Get away
no,
from
it was-
me! Stay away from me!
It was really just
Todd.
me on her account, hoping you'd finally just feed into my wants.
Anyways, our final love hate, because this was probably the biggest signing of the Packers offseason so far. They signed a long snapper, you guys. Joe Fortunato, which is an amazing last name.
Yeah.
Like he sounds like a billionaire on a yacht in an all-white suit that's like smoking a cigar. Like that's what
Oh,
I
yeah.
picture. We're like, I'm Mr. Fortunato. Yeah. I love it. He was with the Cowboys last year, but he has not played in a game ever. He has not taken a snap in a professional NFL game.
It's been like 5 years, right?
Yeah, since he's taken a snap in like a football snap. Yeah. Let alone nothing.
I
in the
hate it.
NFL.
Why are we signing special teams players that aren't punters? J.K. Scott's still on the team. That's a travesty. I'm so upset.
Maybe he does both. Maybe he like snaps it to himself and then punts it.
That's not
Talent.
no. It would get blocked every time. Come on, terrible game.
Aaron, stop coming at us with this nonsense.
No, because he also blocks for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blocks, snaps, punts.
I wonder if he tackles.
Yup.
Maybe it'd be really great to find a special teamer that can fucking tackle. That would be just
Hey,
Yeah,
Todd,
wonderful.
you remember that Bugs Bunny commercial where there's a baseball game and Bugs Bunny plays all the positions in baseball because he was heckling the other team? He said he could beat him by himself, so they take him up on him. That's what Joe does. He the one man special team. He's the only guy out there.
Yeah. You know
Well-
what? They'd probably still do better
Yeah.
than they have.
I was going to go hate, but now that Robin said that, I'm going to have to go love. Because if he can block, snap, and punt, what's not to
That's what
love
he does.
about
I
that?
am honestly just saying love because of his last name. I'm just obsessed with it. And I want to see a green and gold jersey that says Fortunato.
That would be cool.
I'm in for that.
I'm really excited for when he snaps it to himself and puts it down for Crosby to kick a field goal. That's gonna be so impressive.
No,
Yes.
he's going to snap it to Crosby. Crosby's going to pass it back to him. He'll hold it, and then bing, bang, boom.
We should just go for 2 every time.
Honestly, at this point,
Just get rid of
Over
it.
2, never punt.
Yep, boom.
Madden style.
I mean, if you're gonna punt, just have Rodgers lob it down the freaking field. I don't understand why we don't do that.
well, that is not a
launch
punt,
it.
Aaron. That's an incomplete pass.
That's
Yeah.
what they should do. They should
Believe it
do
or
that
not,
as a punt.
Jimmy had a really good point there. That is an incomplete pass and not a punt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
I meant like that's what punting should be. Just give them the option to have your quarterback. I wish you guys could have seen that exchange. Jamie blew a kiss and Todd grabbed it and put it on his cheek.
That's love.
His face cheek.
I wish it was his ass.
Virtual.
All right.
Virtual
Anyways,
kisses.
good God. All right. Well, that's it, fellas. We did it. We got through it. So thank you, Robin, so much for joining us. Could you tell the folks where they can find you on social media? Anything you want to promote? Go ahead.
Sure. You can follow me at the other Adams 14. I'm the other Adams because Devontae is better than me at everything. But you can check out my stuff at Wiscoheroics.com. Badgers, or not Badgers, Brewers, Packers, Bucks. I have something out almost every day.
Yeah, man's a machine.
Beautiful.
Jimmy, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Jimmy_C08. Anything I do with Jamal, Packer Report, Game on Wisconsin, these lovely people will be on there. So just follow me there. I'll retweet everything out. But more importantly, make sure you follow Robin and I guess Todd if you want to, but not really. Not you either, Erin. No,
Okay, got it.
Just
I
Robin.
wasn't sure if you forgot me or if you intentionally left me out.
Oh no, just left you guys all out. Follow
Okay,
Robin.
cool.
He's the important one today. Thank you for coming on, Robin. We love,
Thank you.
like Todd said, you're a one listener, so we'd love to have you on. But
Yeah, well, I'm not going to listen tomorrow, so.
Oh,
damn
great.
it, Robin.
Here.
Damn
Yeah.
it. Just, you know what? Put it on when you go to work.
Yeah,
And just
exactly.
leave it on and like at your house, just keep racking up the views. Trying to
Yeah,
get sponsored
it's
here.
a good thing. It's a good thing I work alone at night because I'd be fired if this was on in there.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I know. Todd's voice is so offensive.
Hey.
It's
Speaking
anyways.
of Todd, where can we find you? I'll do
You
your
can find
job
me
here.
here every week, or you can find me on Twitter at the Todd V. And that's really about it. I'm not really doing anything else right now.
Okay.
Except being beautiful.
Well, that's true.
You guys want to be alone?
After this, yeah, for sure.
Anyways, you can find me on Twitter at Heroin, HEROOINE, and follow us at Game on Wisconsin, at Game on WI, on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because Periscope is going away. So all of our live shows are going to be on YouTube and no longer on Twitter. So that being said, thank you guys for listening to Wiscoholics, and we will see you next week.